is simple to maneuver using the 7 menu keys. The M-Class printer are built so that they are not only easy to operate, but they are also easy to load and clean. Your first step will be to open the printer cover. You will notice that there are instructions as well as diagrams on loading the printer inside the cover. To aid in the loading and cleaning of the printer, Datamax has color-coded the movable parts in green, which are your label sensor, which slides back and forth, your media guide, which lifts and folds back up, and it also slides depending on the width of your label or your tag. You also have your two pressure adjustment cams, a thumb screw, and the print head latch. If you apply pressure here, the print head will lift. And one nice convenient feature that Datamax has given the printer is to add a magnet right here, so when you lift your print head, it will hold it in place by loading your media and your ribbon stock for you. And then you can go ahead and apply that pressure back down. You'll hear a click, and it'll lock the print head back in place. Also, there are 3 black spindles. This first one is your ribbon take-up reel. This is your ribbon spindle, and this is your 3-inch media hub that you would apply your tags or labels to. In addition, depending on the configuration of your Datamax M-Class printer, it can come with the following parts located on the back of the printer. You have your parallel port, a USB port, a serial port, an Ethernet port, and 2 additional USBs. As well, you can see that the power supply is located on the back of the printer, as well as the on and off switch right here. Now we're going to go ahead and show you how to load the tag stock for the Datamax printer. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to lift the print head up and out of the way. You can do that by pushing the upper portion of the green latch. And go ahead and that'll hold that up there for you. We're going to also want to go ahead and adjust the media guide and the media sensor while there's no tag stock in there, just a little easier to maneuver around. You're going to go ahead, the sensor slides back and forth as you can see here. There's a white line right here on the sensor, and that is where you're going to want to make sure that the notch of the tag is going to see that. So that white line and the notch right here needs to line up right in the center of these notches, and we'll put that tag stock on there. The best thing to do is go ahead and slide the media guide all the way over. Not quite to the very end. There's a little black bar or a little black edge right here, but if you go ahead and line that up, that should work out for you about where those notches are. And we're going to also want to take the media guide, which raises and lowers. You're going to want to go ahead and lower that out of the way, push it downward, and then push it straight back towards you, coming out towards the side of the printer. And go ahead and load our tag stock. You're going to do that, and you're going to go ahead and put that on the 3-inch hub, and you're going to push it all the way against that wall, nice and firm, to make sure it fits up snugly to the edge of the wall. And you're going to go ahead and pull out, you're going to start to pull out your media, and you're going to go ahead and slide that right underneath this first silver bar, and you're going to slide that all the way in towards the edge of the wall of the printer. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to want to pull out several of these. Try to pull out like 3 or 4. That way they don't bounce back on you onto the wheel. And you're going to want to make sure that the media is kind of pressed all the way up towards the edge right here of the wall. And then you're going to take your media guide and you're going to flip it upward, and you're going to slide it gently over towards the media. You want to have it nice and snug so you only have a little bit of wiggle room on there, so that way your tag stock doesn't start to do this. All right, so now you have your tag stock loaded. Now, the media guide over here, it looks like we still need, you want to pull up on your tag stock just a little bit, and you'll start to see that white line. You'll see it on your media, but what you want to do is put it in the very middle of that notch, so we're going to even need to go further over. And it looks like if we're right up here next to this silver little piece coming out, it looks like that would be perfect right in the middle of the notch. And that's how we load the tag stock, and we'll move on to ribbon in just a moment. Before we show you how to load the ribbon, let's go ahead and make sure the Datamax printer is on. Go ahead and switch the power on, and that will load up as we show you a little bit about the ribbon. Another user-friendly quality of the Datamax M-Class printer is that they can use ribbon that is coated side in as well as coated side out. That refers to where the ink is on the ribbon, either on the outside or the inside. Usually a Datamax printer uses a ribbon that is coated side in. If you aren't sure whether the ribbon you have is coded side in or coded side out, and you'd like to know, go ahead and just pick up your ribbon and take a look at it. You'll notice that the outside is kind of shiny on a coded side in ribbon, and the inside of the ribbon is going to be very dull. If you go ahead and just lay that ribbon down on the shiny side, go ahead and take a piece of tape or a piece of label and just press it against the ink side, which is the dull side at this moment, because that's what we know. And go ahead and pick that label up, and you'll see that the ink adheres to the label. If you were to lay that on the shiny side and press that down and pick that up, you'll notice you won't get any ink on that at all. We can do that several times and no ink will come up. This is a wound-in ribbon. If you take a wound-out ribbon, you'll notice that the dull side is on the outside of the ribbon and the shiny side is inside. That would tell us that the ink is located on the dull side, on the outside of the ribbon. And you can see that by picking up the ink that we've picked up here. For demonstration purposes, we're going to go ahead and use the Datamax Wind-In ribbon. And we're going to do that just because it is the most popular wind direction for Datamax. So we're going to go ahead and pull about a foot of ribbon out, a little bit, maybe 2 feet. And go ahead and what you're going to do is you're going to slide the core right on to the spindle. And it's going to take a little bit of pressure, and you're going to want to push it all the way up against the wall right here. And you really want to make sure that's snug. If you go ahead and then just take the ribbon, and it is a little messy, so don't worry about being too neat and worry about the ribbon wrinkling. You're going to want to slide it underneath this first silver bar. And go ahead again and pull out another couple feet. You're going to want to have some waste here, and that's okay. It's much easier if you have some waste. At this time, you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to clamp down the print head just to hold everything in place. And at this moment, everything isn't going to be perfect. And go ahead and clamp the print head down, and it'll snap into place for you. And then you're going to want to go ahead and wind the ribbon onto the ribbon take-up reel. And so what we're going to do is just kind of wrap it around. There's nothing neat about this, and it's just a lot easier if you're messy at first. It'll start to straighten itself out. Now that you have it on there, go ahead and release the print head a little bit. This will allow you to go ahead and keep winding it. You're going to want to hold this ribbon. You're going to want to wind it until the take-up reel can take the ribbon all by itself without any added help. And you're going to go ahead at the face of this printer, you're going to want to take the ribbon now and slide it all the way towards the edge with your hand, and you're going to go ahead and push the print head down. And you're going to just let that latch on. And at this time, you have the label stock and you have your ribbon. So now you're ready to print. And if you notice, again, you can push the ribbon up. You can just kind of slide it up this way. Still has some wrinkles in it. It's okay. What we're going to do is go ahead and do some feeds on that. And if you do several feeds, probably about 4 or 5, and again, you're going to have a little waste, the ribbon wrinkles will start to clear. You can start to see those ribbon wrinkles go away. And now you have just loaded a Datamax M-Class printer with your tag stock and your ribbon stock.